23 minutes past 9 on the radio. Good morning and welcome to the big question. Today is Tuesday, the 6th of October, 2020. And on the big question this morning, yes, we're going to be looking at something that a lot of people are surprised we're going to be talking about today. We're looking at evaluating the decline in COVID-19 precautions in Nigeria. And we apologize for starting late. We're having some sort of technical issues. That's why we're just starting now. We should have started since the 9:15. But for some technical reasons, we are just starting up right now. But then the conversation must go on. And this morning, joining me in this conversation is my very humble guest this morning, in person of Ineka Okonkwo. And she happens to be a professional health a public health professional with vast experience providing strategic support to public health programs, social inclusion programs, capacity building interventions, and project monitoring and evaluation. Good morning, Ineka.
Good morning, Daniel.
Thank you so much for joining me.
You're very welcome.
All right, you two can be part of this conversation. You can put a call through on 07000 917 917 is the number to call, and you can also send a text or a WhatsApp message on 070 317 56537. We're looking at evaluating the decline in COVID-19 precautions in Nigeria. So if you're to give the scorecard to how people are now, what is your perspective as you go out as a regular Nigerian, as a Lagosian, as you go out every day? What do you think of how people are responding to these precautionary measures that were put in place at the very beginning? Are we still complying? What do you think has led to this particular decline? Let's hear from you also, 07000 917 917. All right, let me come to you, Eka. Let's start off with how has been the whole COVID-19 experience for you as a health professional?
For me as a health professional, it's been a trying time because we never saw this coming in the first instance. And up until now, we're still looking for a vaccine. We're still trying to find out, okay, what is this disease? How does it spread? Things like that. And although we have discovered how it spreads, but some things are not really, really cast on stone because you can't say this is what it is. Like looking at developed countries, you can see that their fatality rate is high compared to Africa as it stands. So the mirage around the disease is still very, very much not understood. People do not even understand if there are vaccines for this particular ailment, or if there are if there's anything to be done to prevent further spread. Because as you keep treating, a lot of people are still being infected as the days go by. So it's been a trying time for healthcare workers who have also lost their lives in trying to see that, okay, we are taking care of. I give kudos to them.
Thank you. All right, 26 minutes past 9. This is the big question. We're having a conversation on evaluating the decline in response to the precautionary measures against COVID-19 in Nigeria. So from your own evaluation right now, I don't know if you have been going out. Have you been going out?
I've been going out.
Yes. What do you say with regards to how do you think that there is a decline if you were to evaluate our response, to the COVID-19 precautions? Do you think we are blind, or we are just taking things with levity?
At first, I was taken aback by the pandemic. I was staying indoors. I started working remotely, but I got tired. Everyone is tired. As it stands now, I'm sure you're tired as well. So I think there has been a massive decline in precautionary measures, in the fact that people are already, okay, will I call it the Nigerian still finish syndrome? Everyone thinks, oh, and the fatality rate for COVID-19 is not so much compared to Ebola. When there was Ebola was much more dreaded and very severe compared to COVID-19. And Nigerians, we have a way of coping. Africans, we have herbs, and people have already developed herbs, taking ginger, garlic. In fact, even some prominent media personalities said, okay, they contracted this illness and they use this and they use that. So if people can use simple herbal remedies like ginger, garlic, turmeric, and our local herbs, and they get better. That is why people are beginning to treat it as with levity. And the fact that you can sit down at home and treat yourself, not having to go to the hospital when you contract this illness, and you feel and almost has the same symptoms as normal flu and malaria. So people are just over educated by contrast. And there's also this myth that some people do not even believe that there's COVID-19. If you go out to the streets and discuss with the people around, people will tell you that they do not believe.
Yes. How do you, as a health public health professional, how do you deal with the fact that even with all of the number of death cases globally, a lot of people in the country still living in that denial that there is no COVID-19?
Because if you ask someone on the street, have you heard somebody who has corona? They say no. Now looking at the COVID state governor, he never, in fact, even up until now, he still doesn't believe that there's corona. If someone has highly placed as believes that there's no corona, how much more the ordinary person on the street? So people do not even understand the severity of disease because, like I said, Ebola was much more dreaded, and corona is much more widespread. Although it has killed more people compared to the number of Ebola. Ebola had about 11,300 plus deaths from 2014 to 2016. Now compared to Ebola to corona has had much more than that. Has even surpassed it. But people are still treating it with levity because they feel that they can sit at home and they'll be fine. And especially in Africa, Melinda Gates felt and she even said that I'm sure if I remember her statement saying that people will die and will look like fowls on the streets of Africa. But here we are, we just have in Nigeria alone, we just have about 1,000 I think 1,000 about 1,000 plus deaths, 1,013 deaths just only since the inception of this illness. Now compared to probably the US or China, a lot of people have died. So probably Nigeria, because we feel that the disease is not so deadly as Ebola. That's everyone is treating it with so much levity that they feel, oh, that's contract that we find. there was even a time I felt I even contacted COVID-19 because I could not perceive. I could not, my sense of taste was gone. For like 2 weeks I was down. But I tried to look for where I would conduct a COVID-19 test. There was no way. There was no place. I went to the health center, like 2-3 health centers in my local government here in Alimosho. There was no place for me to conduct that particular test. So I went back to bought my azithromycin, bought my vitamin C, and started taking herbs alongside. So everything was going alongside, and I got better. So a lot of people who have come out to say they did this thing and they got better. I think a media personality on TV, Nima, she said she and her husband and they were better. So when people have such testimonies and I have such testimonies, with simple as go they are fine. Then what is there to dread about the disease?
Okay, let's get your comments also this morning on this conversation that we're having on the radio. We're looking at evaluating the decline in response to this particular COVID-19 pandemic. What are your perspectives, the reasons why people are no longer paying attention to these precautionary measures out there? Let's hear from you. 07000 917 917, 07000 917 917. You can also send a text or a WhatsApp message on 070 317 56537, 070 317 56537 to be part of this conversation here this morning, today. All right, now let's look at the issue with the compliance level with offices, workstations. Churches have been open now for over a month, and we've seen that the compliance level has actually dropped. What do you think has resulted? But just before you speak, let's pick a few calls. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. It's Mustafa from Agbadu.
Good morning, Mustafa.
See, people are not so much concerned on this issue because they know it is straw, it is a pure fault. Bad food is fine by the poor iniquity word. So what is most important? That I want to turn the issue to a discriminatory weapon against the authorized breed. I mean the Abraham breed. This is now because the weapons of country wars against the unauthorized breed. So what I want to tell them at this moment is that no free war or free trade without free migration and free visa for Nigeria.
I still do not understand where you're coming from, Isam Mustafa. But then let's still have more calls this morning on 07000 917 917 to be part of this conversation here this morning. We're talking with regards to the decline in the response to this particular pandemic and what has led to this. All right, now, Erika, for religious homes, for offices that at the initial stage, you couldn't go into church. I haven't even been in any denomination since the whole pandemic started. I've been very careful, but we've seen videos. I've seen people posting themselves in church or at gatherings, and there is zero or no even precaution being taken.
The truth is that Nigeria as a nation, we're very religious. We take everything with religiosity, we treat everything with religiosity. And there's this saying that religiosity is not the issue. Most times it's the bane of rational thinking. Some churches are taking precautions while others aren't. Some people are, even while the lockdown was on, some people are still going to church. So they feel, oh, Christ is there for me, and they treat, so long as I'm a child of God, no evil can come to me. So they turn it into a spiritual thing. And that is why you see that in most religious institutions, you see that there's no precaution or even very little precaution. Everyone feels that, oh, we have survived this, there's no coronavirus. There are so many, if you go out on the street and ask someone, do you think there's corona? They tell you no. Because they also feel that the government has in some way politicized the whole issue.
Mm.
So when you're hearing, I think was this sometime this week when one politician was saying that the money that was supposed to be used for school feeding was diverted.
Found in a private account.
Yes. So and even police built an isolation center with how much the wind came and threw the place apart. So you can imagine a lot of people. And now another thing we also need to understand is that the samples that have been collected in previous census, we have about 50,000 samples. I'm sure that have not even been tested. So, people are not, there's no place to even test. People have started treating this whole thing with legacy because Christ is there for me, religion has taken over. Even when there was much more, even at the peak of the pandemic, people were still going to church. Christ is there for me. If I'm a child of God, nothing can happen to me. I've had conversations, even last week I had conversations with a woman and she was telling me that to church, that Christ would not allow any evil before me. She started posting the story of Moses in Egypt and the pandemic and how the flood was going to pass over. So people have so many ideas saying, okay, that is what works for them because we're cultural people, we're religious people. You can't take that away from us.
Okay, the phone line is still very much over 25 minutes to 10 this morning on the radio. We're looking at the conversation on evaluating the decline in COVID-19 precautions in Nigeria. What has been your own experience? I feel like people have stories to share with regards to this particular pandemic. What have been your stories? If you're trying, because if you go to certain space, if you like in Lagos now, I don't think commercial drivers are really following through on this issue of when the pandemic was still heated up. I think it was 3 on a seat or 2 on a seat. I remember that I entered a commercial vehicle when the pandemic, when movement was allowed, it was just 2 people on that's a 16-seater bus, but just two people on a seat. But now you see them carrying full passenger, and this has actually sort of brought down the belief system of that the coronavirus is actually real. But we need to be careful. We need to still be careful. Let's take a few calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you, Efe.
Yeah, how was your day? Your night?
It was good.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah, my experience during this coronavirus, even till now, so the transport of it normally before, when we are coming from Delta, we used to pay 2,005 at most 3,500, but now it's 6,000, 8,000, and that distance is still there. 2 at the one at the front, 2 at the back, 2 at the middle. Show understand. So the transport is still high. Now they are still maintaining that social distance. They are still maintaining it. Then the second one, please. I don't know whether is it because of this coronavirus. That is why things are so cost in the market. Things are too cost now in the market, and they are still getting costlier and costly. So in fact, I don't know what the government they are doing about it. They should try to bring prices of things down. Imagine rice now. The foreign rice is now 500 naira by Derika. Somebody that has a family, what Derika will not be enough for them to eat. So in fact, the thing is getting too much. It's getting out of hand. They should try to do something. Is it the market people that are they are the one that increasing this prices, or is it the government? We want to find out. We want to know. Then concerning the churches during this pandemic, they don't need to shut churches down. What they would have done, I've said it before. Maybe if there are maybe 100 people in the church, they would have said that okay, 5 people come and pray. Because we have to pray for the nation, we have to pray for the world. So shutting the church down, and in fact, they are saying that church is not they are not essential. No, they don't have to say that. Thank you very much. That is my contribution.
Okay, thank you very much, Ife. 07000 and the conversation this morning is evaluating the decline in COVID-19 precautions in Nigeria. All right. With regards to when have you been to places where the enforcement of these precautions are still being observed? I think for some restaurants, it's still like are still very keen on it, but the compliance is gradually declining.
Yes. But I was just smiling at what the last caller just said. They didn't have to shut the church down. You see, like I said, Nigeria, we are very religious and there's something very essential. But you can stay in your house and pray. Some people I think they even during this pandemic, they over time they've grown to love worshiping in their homes and not having to dress up in the morning and rushing off, joining traffic and but it was too hard. Contact tracing, over 100 persons were infected just simply because she went to church, and that was what caused like a second wave of coronavirus. So men saw that was actually very important. Even in the Bible, in church last week when I went to the pastor categorically said, person who preached categorically said, there was a part in the Bible where we're reading, I think around Old Testament, where quarantine is also in the Bible. Locking yourself up when there is a pandemic is also in the Bible, so people can also check for themselves and stop being emotional about things. Now, to your question with regards to transportation system.
Yeah, just hold on that thought. I picked the call.
Okay. Is it better now?
No, it's not better.
Is it better now?
I can manage this. All right.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Ismail Abdullah, calling from Shomoli.
Good morning, Ismail.
Yeah. So my own belief concerning this pandemic is that generally the generation of people has believed that the pandemic is gone, because I must tell you, I was in Lagos Island, Idumota precisely. Nobody even care about it. I was in Oshodi, precisely this place they call Arena. Yes, I was in the market there. Everybody was just normal. So, and the other thing is that we also believe, by the time you interact, they will tell you how many people have been affected in your street. The answer is no. Because I also discussed it with people that even when I was in the bank last time, when they said they maintain a social distance, the man said the social distance. Now, there is no. So then, also, but the only advice I'm giving now is that you in the week can still try and then maintain it. And also, our government should please help us and maintain our airport. That is where I'm much afraid, because people have been living with in Shomolu, Lagos Island for months. At least if they have COVID-19, we'll have seen the symptoms. But people who are coming in, who will prove to be big men, try to abscond the necessary obstacle, the necessary protocol. You can have, maybe you are aware of what happened last time, that 80 people after 5 days or 8 days of their arrival in this country, they tested positive. What happened at the gate of entrance? Because that is where, don't you know who I am? You want to know what do you mean? Yeah? Or when you can give just maybe you are coming, you give $10,000 to one, 10,000 naira to one. You can go.
Well, that has not been the case at the airport, Ismaila, though. That's not been the case on the airport. I think one of the major issues right now being raised at the airport is with regards to fake test results. That nobody's just been giving free pass. Nobody's giving free pass.
They should try and how they can authenticate it to know whether it is real or not. And they should also have their own apparatus to test them. You should not just rely on this. Okay, if you want to travel to America now, we don't rely on our hospital test and this thing, because I know when somebody wants to try, you have to go to their special hospital. Which they recognize. They don't tell them. You know that they don't accept any this thing from our general hospital or from our private hospital when you want to travel out to America. for your medical checkup. You should be aware now if you don't know. Because at least I have people whom I follow to the hospital in VI to go and do the test. If you do it from a general hospital, they will cancel it. No, you must go to this because they don't have. So we too should not just rely on unnecessary paper they bring to us. Because that's where problem is. We down here, I believe we don't have COVID-19 again, but we should watch full of people coming in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ismaila. Erika, you want to make comments to what the last caller said?
Yes, he said they should take precautionary measures as to those people who are coming into Nigeria.
Yes.
Yes. You know, Nigeria, I don't know, there's this problem we have. When we start doing things right, all of a sudden we just decline and start doing things wrong. Yeah. Even this week, Iyabo Ojo, the actress, complained of the fact that she had paid for a COVID-19 test. Whereas I think she was coming from Turkey or so, and the test had already been conducted. She had with her. And by the time she came into Nigeria, she was forced to conduct another test. She paid for it at about 50,000 naira. And they gave her another slip to go to another hospital to do the test when you have already collected money from her. So we try to play with almost everything, and infuse corruption just comes into play into everything that we do, which is very wrong. And this whole people coming to Nigeria, the precautions are need to be top notch, because that's how COVID-19 came into Nigeria in the first instance, because we are very relaxed. We treat everything with them laxity. So we need to understand that this is an issue of life and death. Now, the previous caller said there is the coronavirus. The fact that there are some people who are symptomatic, who have this corona without having to show any symptoms. So we also need to understand that these people are capable of spreading the infection to every other person. So the fact that we all still need to do our own bit. Protect yourself, observe the precautionary measures. This disease has come to stay, and maybe that's why people have become so relaxed. Because I think they are tired. Even putting on masks 247, everyone is tired in the market, having to use. And even the bosses, some of them are beginning to go back to their normal capacity because they are obviously tired as well. And the people who are paying for this thing, they don't like paying for, because somebody who is supposed to carry about 3 passengers carrying 2, and inflate the price, obviously.
Let me quickly ask you about the school reopening. What's your perspective to the fact that schools have been asked to reopen, especially for the primary and secondary school?
Schools abroad have opened as well, but in their case, they have top-notch precautions to address some of these issues. But here in Nigeria, I don't think so. And we won't say our children should forever remain at home because we are scared of coronavirus. All we need to is that private schools have the capacity to manage the situation compared to public universities where the classes are overcrowded, the hostels are overcrowded. And so that is what I'm scared of, and the fact that we likely have a second wave with the reopening of schools. Now, ASU is still on strike, so imagine if ASU calls off the strike and students resume. We'll likely expect a rise in the number of people active cases. So
used to before, a lot of people no longer go out with their face masks. I, for one, would not even step out of my house without my face mask and my hand sanitizer. And then you go out and you're almost feeling odd with the fact that you're almost like the only one putting on a nose mask.
Complaining, and I also feel for them because, like what the other caller said, things prices of goods have skyrocketed. The friend of mine told me he bought a bag of rice for 30,000 naira. And yes, the government seems to be very silent about issues like this. Prices of people are importing these goods from China, and as a nation in Nigeria, we can't even do without import. So things are not easy for them over there. Even UK recorded a decline in their economy. So we are not left out. Nigeria is even weak, and people are complaining. But at the same time, we also need to be alive.
That's
because
true.
being alive is much more important than having to look for food and things like that. So long as there's life there, so people need also maintain social distance. They need to wash their hands frequently. In fact, once you come to my house, the first thing I tell you to do is to wash your hands. I have my hand sanitizer in the car. I have it in my handbag. I do it everywhere I go. I have multiple nose masks in my bag everywhere. So yes. So I'm very, very careful.
Okay.
Not to, because I have an elderly woman living with my grandmother. So I wouldn't want her to be infected.
To compromise our health, yes.
To compromise her health. So because people are just what happens is that people have begun to look at it. Okay, when the COVID-19 started, people have started it forced some sort of comparison between Ebola and COVID-19. People say, oh, Ebola had the ability to turn a human being into a zombie compared to COVID-19. So people are looking at, oh, the fatality rate is low, but you still need to do all these things. You need to apply caution, and the fact that if you're healthy, COVID-19 may just walk past you compared to someone who has other ailments like asthma and things like that.
Yes.
And we know that Ebola affects everyone. Everyone was hit by Ebola compared to COVID-19, where just people who have certain ailments are most hit. Young children are not really infected by COVID-19. So that's where people have some sort of relaxed over this illness. But we also need to do these precautions. Even the restaurants you asked me about before.
Yes.
Restaurants, public places, people just do these things. Over time, I've realized that it's more or less like a duty. It's just more or less like a duty compared to, okay, me taking this precaution. Because I want to prevent being infected. People are just, in case government officials come here, I'm doing do that.
Yes.
It's more or less like a duty to them because, like I said at first, we like call it Stephen syndrome has taken over.
I'm telling you.
They don't apply these things just to, let's just obey what WHO says, let's just obey what the government says before they shut us down. It is more or less like a duty.
I want to say thank you so much, Nneka Okonkwo, this morning for being part of this conversation. I reached out pretty late, and I appreciate the fact that you're able to join me in this conversation. I just hope that a lot of Nigerians